the lovely Pat Dorrell. And this is Pat Dorrell. Look. Now, what you're probably wondering what she's doing there with that lovely sash and that lovely bouquet of flowers there. But we're not going to kind of talk about that just yet. Very pleased you could come and speak to us. We are really, really highly honoured because to me you are one of the most important people in Telford's history, believe it or not. And I'm so grateful you've come to speak to us. Now, what I want to know is, how did you end up in Telford? So, what's your story and where did you first live?
I was born and bred in Birmingham, Erdington, Birmingham, and as most people know, Telford was built as an off-spill. People came out here because it was basically going to be a new town, and I was one of those at the age of between 9 and 10. Came to Telford, ended up going to the John Fletcher School in Madeley, and subsequently ended up going to the Abdab because my brother, who was slightly older, was going to the Madeley Court, and he said that if we went there we wouldn't learn anything because it was too easy. As we were one of the first residents on Willowfield, we used to have to walk further to the Abdab than we did to the Madeley Court, but that's how it happened. So from there, was at school there for the whole term of secondary school, which was fantastic. The main problem there was that it was only me and my sister were the only actual Afro-Caribbean children in a school of over 200 kids at the time, so it was quite harsh, as a lot of people were very prejudiced, and we had the usual name calling from anything from Black Sambo, whatever was going on in the day, so that was very difficult, but me and my sister, quite strongish, and held our own, really, and luckily enough for me, 50 odd years on, I'm still friends with the people I was at school with and still in contact with them.
Wow, that's great. So what was Woodside like? Because Woodside wouldn't have been that old, would it?
No,
you know.
So it was just Willowfield was the start.
What was it like? What did you? Because Marcus is off Woodside.
Yeah.
What did you do? Just when you're young, what did you actually do as both of you? What did you actually do as kids?
Luckily enough on Woodside, the way the estates were built, the houses were in a square. So you had houses on both sides and houses across the top, so you had a big square in the middle, so everybody knew everybody. Not far away was a local shop. They always had parks, so you could actually go and play on the parks, call for your mates because you weren't too far away. The Madeley Court was already there, so you could always go and play in the fields and in the Madeley Court woods. So nothing was far away. You could actually go anywhere you wanted to, and you were also local to the buses, so Wellington still had its cinema, so you can go to the town centre, you used to come to the Clifton, you could actually say to your parents, going to the cinema, and they knew you were safe, without any worries. So it was quite nice because you didn't just spend any time at home, you always went to your mates, which were all dotted around Woodside, which was all in walking distance.
Well, Marcus, you talk a lot about the forts, don't you? And
the trains as well that we had. Yeah, it was our like community sort of centre thing. The kids come to the trains, play on the forts at the back. Yeah. We had like a paddling pool at the back of there. That's where the kids went. I don't know if you remember there was like the community centre. They used to show films there on a Saturday. It didn't last very long.
Yeah, mostly I was a little bit older then, so I had joined the Telford Athletics Club because I used to do a lot of sport at school. I did the Victrix Ludorum and I won that at school, so I did a general all over. So I joined the Telford Athletics Club, so that took up my Saturdays. I also used to play the clarinet at school, so I was sporty, did a bit of music because the school was very music orientated. So we had a lot of things where my weekends or that was either taken up with sport or going to music lessons.
So you were quite fixed on bettering yourself and just getting as much done, putting as much in as you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, lucky enough for me, I had my form tutor, which was Mr. Reeves. He was also the drama teacher, so anything that we could get involved in, he helped us get involved in. Sports-wise, as I say, for the school, anything that was going, and I joined the club to make sure that I could just keep myself fit-ish.
Yeah, he was quite passionate, wasn't Mr. Reeves?
Yeah.
Drama, didn't he? I think he worked with somebody famous, like someone like Richard Harris or something like that. Yeah, very passionate man.
Yeah, so a few years back, me and some fellow students, I rounded about 8 of us up, and we tracked him down and we took him out for a meal and we all had a chat and we all linked up. So that was fantastic. In fact, it was the year that they had the Olympics.
Yeah.
And we all sat down and we all sat and we all had a meal up at Sturchley, in a local pub.
Yeah.
And we all linked up, so we're all still mates, luckily enough. The only problem is that quite a few of people that I was at school with have all passed away already. You know, and they're only in their early 40s, 50s, you know, way before the time. So, you know, that is one of the main stresses.
I think when you get older, that starts happening to, you know, a lot of you, doesn't it? A lot of people, you know, pass away.
We're still young now.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So where did you first work then? Where was your first job? What did you first do?
Believe it or not, I used to work at Decca, making tellies. Bridge North. Yeah. I was on the line. I was there. That was absolutely fantastic. Missed the bus a couple of times, so I had to start walking.
To Bridge North?
Yeah, to Bridge North from Willerfield, which was fantastic because if you left with enough time and started legging it, because I used to be fit in the day, and if I was fortunate, one of the bosses would be driving past and give me a lift in.
Everyone in the Midland Red buses.
Yeah.
Is it the number 909? Which one went to...
The Bridge North.
Yeah, it was the Bridge North 909. Was it?
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. God,
So,
walk there.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah.
God.
Well, you know, it's got to be done.
A lot of people will end there.
But as I always said when I was younger that I wanted to do modelling, I didn't really think that working in Decca, making tellies, was really the in word to say if you were going to enter competition. This is what I do. I make tellies in a factory. So I then decided, 17ish, I need to change my career, and I went into hairdressing. And I was very fortunate that in the day, you could sell yourself. Now you have to have a piece of paper to say this is what you do. So I approached Michael Thatcher, who sadly passed away now, and he was one of the biggest hairdressers in the area. He had his first shop in Wellington itself. And then I approached him and I said, look, fancy hairdressing. He said, you're a bit old. And I went, look, give us a go and I'll see what I can do. And lucky enough, 39 years on, I'm still hairdressing.
Wow.
I'm now barbering, more so than hairdressing, but that's where I work, in an actual barber's in Wellington.
Do you want to give it a plug?
Yes, I work for Fellas the Barbers. I've been there 10 years. I've met a lot of fantastic people, people that come just to see me. We have a chat. It's great.
How cool is that? How cool is that? So, one important thing that happened in your career, which must have been extremely exciting, was you becoming Miss Telford Town Centre. How did that even happen?
Well, as I say, because I was working for Michael's Hair Artists, he had a shop on the Brooklands in Wellington. He opened one in Hollinswood, which is where I did my 3.5-year training and apprenticeship. He then opened one in the Telford Town Centre, Oakengates. So I then moved up to the Town Centre shop because he moved some of his staff around if need be, and as I was working in the Telford Town Centre, I qualified to enter the competition. So that's how that came about.
So what was the brief that you thought, what was the brief that they said they wanted you to do? So what was it you were applying for?
At the time, it was way back to remember, but anybody that was working in the town centre, you could enter. I entered very closely with a friend of mine, Bev Kerwood at the time she was. I was going to try and drag her here today, but I haven't had a chance to track her down. And it was just most people that were working town centre, so you had an opportunity of just entering, and because I always said I wanted to do modelling, that is what me and her did at school. We said we wanted to do modelling, and so it was an ideal chance to enter it. Prior to that, I think I'd been entering quite a few of them Shropshires. There's got to be at least 4 years of entering that and getting to certain levels. So that was cool, because everybody in Shropshire then entered from anywhere. And then I won, as I say, the Miss Telford Town Centre.
Did you have to have an audition for that? Any audition, or was it just send a load of pictures?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they had to do an interview and whatever. I say it was that way back then. But from that, as I say, I had to end up opening the sauna at the Sturchley Rec, which was fantastic. There was a picture of me somewhere.
I didn't even know there was one there.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I opened that. I also then had to meet the Queen, and I had my own certificates requesting my presence lined in gold.
So where was the Queen? What was she up to?
She came to the town centre.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on at the town centre at the time then. It must have been some...
I think she buys a shoe.
What year was that? I know she opened the second phase of the town
Yeah, well,
centre.
whenever I won, I won the competition, it was around about then.
Yeah.
I think the funniest part of being Miss Telford Town Centre was we had a lot of functions going on the town centre, and I had to walk around the town centre with Rod Hull and Emu. So as you can imagine, he was going around attacking people.
Yeah.
Round the place. Round the place.
Oh, you're lucky you spit the dog. You got off lightly there.
But yeah, it was fantastic in the late 70s, 80s because they had a lot of functions on at Ironbridge. So I met the star off Coronation Street, no, Crossroads.
Yeah.
Meg.
Noel Gordon.
Noel Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So saw the somewhere in the day. And one of the people that had to judge either the Miss Shropshire or the Miss Telford Town Centre was Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
from Crossroads.
Yeah, from Crossroads.
With the hat,
with the hat. With the hat. So
Paul. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure this
Yeah.
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he went and opened something else, like a chip shop somewhere as well.
There was a lot of things going on. Telford was buzzing at the time, where they involved people that lived locally, and you could actually, you know...
The town centre was owned by Telford Development Corporation back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they saved a lot of money to put into...
TDC.
Yeah.
As it was.
Put into it.
But yeah, there was a lot of things going on, and you could quite openly go and enjoy being a teenager without any worries. Because everything was close at hand, everything was still open fields, so you could just go and doss anywhere you wanted to without worrying.
Well, the good thing about the estates was you didn't have to cross the road to go
That's
to the
right,
shop.
exactly.
Yeah.
Everything was just there, and all your people that you went to school with, or anybody you knew, were all within walking distance.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Because I come from Birmingham myself, I come from Borsley.
Yeah.
But obviously, if anyone asks, just say Highgate.
But it was very what I classed as an overspill from Birmingham and the surrounding areas. And the surrounding areas where people came in the late before they were 10 or just after 10 to actually link up and live here.
Yeah, so I tell you what, if we were sitting here in 1979, that wouldn't happen, would it, Mark?
Yes.
I know. I'm not good at turning these things off.
Have you cut it?
Try to, yeah.
Have you got it on silent?
No.
It's his mum, because he's going.
Yeah.
It's his mum. She's cooking dinner tomorrow.
No, it's not.
Just remind him that
it was Majid.
At the top.
Yeah.
Where your volume is.
Yeah. There.
Yeah. No, that way. Do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
So there you go, Marcus. Marcus.
If you're in a church or anywhere, always put your phone on silent.
That's it now, isn't it?
But
right,
yeah, whilst I was still in the 80s, which was fantastic, they had a lot of competitions about, and I entered the Miss Black and Beautiful.
Right.
And got through to that. I had to go to the Mohammed Ali Centre in Birmingham. Prior to that, they interviewed us on ITV. So there's a video of me somewhere in the archives going on TV, and they didn't tell us we had to wear a costume for this competition. So all these young ladies turned up in their early teens or late 20s or early 20s to enter this competition, and nobody had any costumes. So they sent somebody out to go and get these costumes, and somebody came back with something like a size 10 white costume that I had to squeeze myself into, that you'll see on the video, and then we were interviewed before going on to the rest of this. But it was a highlight because they wanted it to be televised, which killer, and then they had the big competition at the Mohammed Ali Centre, which was in the very early 80s. But it was a fantastic venue, and then from there you were supposed to have won some money and various things, and it turned into a bit of a farce because we believed that somebody actually stole the money and did a runner.
Oh, right.
But it was still very. There was a big poster. As I say, it was on the television. So yeah, another claim to fame.
So you missed Telford. How long did that period run for? Did you get a year or something?
It was just the year, I think. Yeah, because I don't know what I did after that, because I didn't realise that they still carried on until you'd approached me, and then I looked and saw, they still carried on quite a few afterwards. So
well, you're the only one who said they'd come and talk to us, so forget them.
Oh wow. Gosh.
Forget them. Oh my God.
So yes,
how many people can say that?
I must admit that my teenage years and living in Telford has been fantastic. Yeah, it's been, if I was to write a book, I could definitely say that it wasn't boring.
No. And that's it, and that's what it's all about, really. This is what we're not here to, we're trying to find out what people really think about Telford, and what, if you could say two things you love about Telford, what would they be?
Something different happening every day.
Yeah.
Something different happening every day. You couldn't turn around and say, right, I'm going to do this, without something else possibly popping up to, change it. Not necessarily for the worst. Yeah. Possibly, just got to take life as it is. But to actually go back to Woodside now, I was in a job where I was a manager of a finance company, and I had to go to Woodside and knock doors to approach people. Yeah. And the amount of people that was still in the same house that the parents were in the day was phenomenal. And it was brilliant to actually knock and see people that you knew from the age of 10 and take the number. Look, we're going to have to link up. I threw a reunion in the 70s back at the Abdab for all the people of my year, the year below and the year above, which everybody thought was absolutely fantastic because it meant that people could just link back up. And I will try and do something like that again. And now that I've got these new people, friends, I will be trying my best, because I say there's a lot of people that have passed between all of our times in the past 30-40 years, which is frightening. It'd be nice for people, even though people have left the area, when I actually threw this last one, people did come from far and wide because other people contacted them and said, look, Pat's chucking this thing, get yourselves down, because there's always family that you can stop with, so there's no excuse for anybody not to actually turn up, because there's people they can link up with and stop over, but catch up with everybody that you don't see.
Well, we're doing various events this year, so if you wanna get with me and Marcus, I'd be glad to help you organise it. And get that. Yeah. Marcus is a great person finder. He finds anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done.
I said the other day there was something I wanted to know who was a guy. Found him straight away like that. Yeah. He messaged me back though, obviously, but Telford is made up of colourful people like yourself and Marcus.
Yeah, across the board. Telford still. Great place to be at the end of the day. It has changed over the years tremendously.
I've been out of Telford now for probably 15 years or something, and we're moving back in a couple of weeks' time. And it's like I cannot get used to certain views now. Like coming out of the town centre, looking at Southwater, I can't. It's hard to
envisage
comprehend
what it used to look like.
Well, I can see what it used to look like. I can't envisage I can't see what's there now. It's such a unique, diverse place, and I think we're all very lucky to be associated with a town like this, because there are, as you know. There are people criticise Telford a lot, but these people haven't lived anywhere else. The most people who criticise there, people who've lived here all their lives and seen the change around it. Yeah, actually, if you compare it to where I've been in Stoke or parts of Birmingham, it's a beautiful town, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you grow with Telford is the word, is what I would say, because at the end of the day, people like myself and Mark that came from Birmingham, there was a lot of people to say that fluxed in from Telford, into Telford from Birmingham, and we had to start from being an early teen straight through, and a lot of people say are still here. Various job things have taken people away, but they've mostly still got family that are still here, and it is brilliant.
And that's it. And predominantly, the town was built for people like you because there was the need for it. You know that Birmingham was getting overcrowded, and there was a need to just come to this utopia, almost a utopian. It was utopia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Woodside. Like you're saying, when you go to Woodside, it looked like it was space aged. It was. You know,
like my mum used to say, when we first come, it was like a holiday camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and all the trees and greenery.
Yeah,
and
everything.
Like
you know, you say the houses were built in a way that there was houses on the sides, houses at the front, houses at the end. So you're in a square. So when you did have the community of, if they did a street party, you just put a great big table right in the middle, and everybody would just link in, and everybody from all the different places could actually link on there. And I can just remember running around with my hair in plaits, and you know, people sort of like, you know, just having a laugh, and everybody linking in. I mean, I know that they're still there.
Yeah, they're still there. They are actually. It is true. Pat, thank you very much for speaking to us. I really do appreciate it.
I will try and keep in touch because I'm sure you two can dig up some of me old past.
Especially that picture. We'll be looking at that one. Thanks for talking to us.